right, welcome everyone. Dr. Mike Reed from Chiropractic Masters. Thank you for joining us on this Master Talk, how chiropractors can attract an extra 8 to 12 new patients from Instagram while getting 2,500 new local followers. Now, I'm really excited because I've got my good friend and social media guru, Dr. Matthew Loop from Atlanta, Georgia. For those of you who know Matt, you've probably got his book, Social Media Made Me Rich. He's also the CEO and president of DCincome.com. He runs the Social Media Summit, and he's been voted the most popular chiropractic internet marketing blog. So, Matt, welcome to our Master Talk.
Mike, what's going on, brother?
Hey, you know, I'm so excited. I love marketing. I love social media as much as you do, and I'm really excited to have you on because, you know, this is one of those social media enigmas. A lot of doctors, you know, they're starting to master Facebook, they're getting into YouTube, they're getting into email marketing. All of a sudden, we throw them this blindsided curveball with Instagram. So I'm excited to talk about it because it's one of those, you know, those tools in social media, the platforms that chiropractors are not tapping into. So let's just maybe talk a bit about this, Matt, you know, where Instagram started and where it's going.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, for those that don't know, Facebook owns Instagram, and right now it has over 800 million users. So we're dealing with a network that's incredibly powerful. It has the attention of our primary demographic. So that's where we need to focus our attention. And actually in this presentation, what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about why there's a massive migration going on too from Facebook to Instagram. So we'll get into all those good things for sure. And you know, once Facebook acquired Instagram, just things went crazy for the company. And that's when there's a lot of possibilities in your engagement. If you've even noticed, maybe you post a photo on Instagram and you might find that, wow, I'm getting more likes, I'm getting more comments and shares. The Instagram feed filter is not as bad as Facebook as well. You know, so there's a lot of benefits to being on this. And again, we'll get into those in this presentation, but every chiropractor absolutely must master this patient attraction platform in the coming year, just because that's where the attention is going to shift.
All right, so let's get rolling.
Yeah, so I've titled this presentation, How to Attract an Extra 8 to 12 New Patients per Month from Instagram while getting 2,500 plus local followers fast. And obviously, if Mike, you or anyone else has any questions, you can all chime in as you will. Shut yourself away from all distractions. And obviously, if we are not connected, let's connect on Instagram. I typically post good social media content that helps grow your practice using these new strategies. And also, Mike and I were going to obviously talk about this a little bit later, but our Caribbean Adventure Mastermind is our flagship getaway, retreat, mastermind, whatever you want to call it, where we go every year to some exotic location in the Caribbean. This year, it's back in Punta Cana, and I'm stoked because obviously the Paradisus Punta Cana is like ridiculous. You know, that resort is just, it's one of my favorites. I don't know about yours, Mike, but last time we were there, we had a blast.
You know, that we rocked it at that one, and everyone's raving about the UCAM. They get better every year. The content is richer. It's more dense. Doctors are walking away. You know, from last year, we had so many doctors sign up, and we've got so many coming back to re-dip this year, Matt. I'm just jacked about it.
Yes, and you know, Punta Cana, even for many, it's not as easy to get to as the Bahamas, and we already have, like, how many registrations so far?
We got 20 people registered already, and some doctors are bringing their team. So I expect 50. I think we're going to max out at 50 this year.
Nice. Very nice. Cool. Well, we'll get into that a little bit later, but anyway, it's a fantastic event. ucam.fun is the place to be there. Wanted to give a plug and a shout out. So really the goal of today is a couple things. One, to share the best practices with you as a chiropractor regarding Instagram. Number two, it's to make a bigger impact. Obviously, we're docs. We want to help as many people as possible, and we can't do that unless we evolve with new technology, which is where Instagram, you know, they've been around a while for numerous years, but only this year has it really, really snowballed into our primary demographic. And we as a profession need to start marketing like it's the year we actually live in. There are still docs, and I see it all the time that are, you know, don't even have a Facebook account, don't have an Instagram account. So I'm not here to chastise you, but I'm here to really impress upon you the fact that we have to, you know, you don't want to shoot yourself in the foot. 20 years ago, if you weren't in the yellow pages, people would look at you as suspect. outdated and out of touch. The same thing's happening today if you don't have a large presence on these platforms. So we're going to really get into that. And the next reason is prosperity. Obviously, our profession needs to be very wealthy if we really want to hit that tipping point. I would love nothing better than to see chiropractic commercials running 24/7 on television, but we can't do that without money, right? So each doctor really has to have prosperity in their own right. Now, I know Mike did a fantastic introduction. I'll give you a Cliff Notes version just in case that you're not familiar with my content. Um, my God, I graduated chiropractic school in 2004, and no one ever taught me about business in school. So I learned the hard way, like many docs do. Came out over $120,000 in loan debt. Got to a point where my ex-girlfriend's father actually had to cut me a check for $2,000 one time to float me along because my credit cards were maxed and I had $1,000 in bills due the following week. So I've seen my fair share of low points. And right around that time in 2005, 2006, a little social network called MySpace crept in, which no one was using MySpace really for anything except to connect with friends. But I saw a really powerful business opportunity, began to connect with other people locally in my area by interest, by age, and I started bringing patients in the door. Then other chiropractors got wind of what I was doing, and they started asking me. And so I got to a point where I was training more doctors than I was seeing patients in the office, which is really crazy at that time. So I just made a decision. I love helping patients in the office, but if I could help thousands of doctors reach millions of patients with social media, that's what I set my course on essentially. So again, I'm a chiropractor like you. I get this stuff. I get where you're at. Social media has taken me to a lot of cool places. This is when I spoke at Harvard University. Some of the concepts that I'm going to share at our mastermind in Punta Cana, and even today, is what I spoke about at Harvard. So this stuff can take you to some amazing places if you apply it. Mike mentioned social media made me rich. I personally believe this is a must for every chiropractor. You need to have this on your bookshelf and absorb the information. It will help you prosper in the new economy. This is my lovely family. We take a lot of cool vacations. We do a lot of cool stuff because of social media and the tactics that we're going to talk about tonight. And of course, at the mastermind, Mike has invited me to speak on stages in Canada and here, and I've spoken all over the world about this information. And it's just a very powerful thing that can connect you with influencers like Suzanne Summers or Usher or Kevin O'Leary of Shark Tank. So I really want you to use this stuff to your advantage so you can really hit that tipping point in your local community so you can actually reach and serve more people and make a darn good living doing so. Now, Instagram itself, some statistics of interest we need to talk about. Over 800 million users, 95 million photos are shared each and every single day on this platform. 32% of all internet users are on Instagram, and Instagram's brand engagement rate is the highest of any social platform, like we talked a little bit about earlier. Check this out. 59% of internet users between 18 and 29 use Instagram, and 33% of internet users between 30 and 49 use Instagram. That might surprise a lot of doctors because for a long time it was that 18 to 29 demographic. But now over 33% of internet users are 30 to 49, which is perfect for us. 68% of Instagram users are also female, which is great for chiropractors. 41% of Instagram users report following brands to get perks and giveaways. Now, there is a massive exodus going on. Even though Facebook has over 2 billion users at this stage, and I love Facebook, it's a very lucrative platform when you dial it in, there are a lot of people leaving. One, because they don't want to be on the same network as their parents. I know it kind of sounds childish, but that's just one of the reasons. And number two, Instagram is Facebook without the whining. It's more positive. If you go on Facebook, sometimes you get sucked into your news feed. I don't know, if you ever had this happen, Mike, but like you get sucked into that news feed and man, you just a lot of negative stuff coming at your way if you don't filter it out and judge your time. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, yeah.
So,
yeah.
So you got to be careful with that. But Instagram is not so much like that. So I think it has a fresh new taste for a lot of doctors and people that are in our demographics. So we have to really pay attention to that. Here's what it looks like if you're not familiar. It's the simple mobile app, and I'm giving you an example right now of what my mobile app looks like. You can see I've got my picture, my bio, my website, little contact, and 3,100 followers, and then the posts are below. Let's talk about how to create simple text graphics. Every doc wants to know how to do this. They think it's so complicated. Here you go, Canva, canva.com, Canva. And if you go to Canva, this is very simple. It's like Photoshop for dummies. You can either use one of their photos or you can upload a stock photo and you can put some text to it. This will literally take you 2 minutes maximum if you're really, really slow. If you train somebody to do this in your office, it could take you 30 seconds per post. It's not a big deal. This has been my secret weapon for graphics. Practically every graphic that you see that I have my name tagged to, that I have my like website tag to, it'll probably come from Canva in some way, shape, or form, whether I did it or whether an associate of mine did it. So this is a very easy platform that you can delegate out to somebody in your office, and they can create these simple quote graphics for you, whether it's 1-2 times per day. Easy, easy stuff.
And it's free too, Matt. We use it for our company as well.
Yeah, it's free. Absolutely. They have a premium that you can upgrade to, but it's not necessary. It kind of surprises me that it's still free. To this regard. So hashtags, this is another hot topic. Confuses a lot of doctors. It shouldn't, though. This is an example of a hashtag. When you put the pound sign or the number sign in front of any keyword or phrase, like hashtag chiropractic, you can actually search this on Instagram, just like you could search hashtag whatever local bar and grill or local restaurant in your area. People are tagging these things all day long. And the interesting thing about Instagram is that prospective patients are actually searching for hashtags versus other networks. Facebook, not so much. Pinterest, not so much. Twitter, sort of, kind of, yes. But Instagram hashtags have really gained a tremendous amount of momentum. So there are ways that we can use those in our favor. Now, this is just a post from one of my other social media revenue summits that we do, but I was trying to get in front of specific keywords to promote this event. I obviously tagged and hashtagged Social Media Revenue Summit. Now, we did it at the Ritz-Carlton, so I hashtagged the Ritz-Carlton in Buckhead, kind of get that brand association and potentially the right people. And then other areas where this was relevant: entrepreneur, marketing, business growth, the Shark Tank demographic, TV shows, stuff that can relate. Sometimes it can be national, sometimes it can be local. That's why I say you want to keep your eyes and ears out for stuff, whether it's the news, whether they are local restaurants, landmarks, businesses, stuff that you can hashtag, but it has to relate to what you're posting. Don't just post random stuff that doesn't relate. So be strategic and start to think about that stuff. Now, if you go to your Instagram app right now and you tap that search, that magnifying glass that you see in the lower portion, then I just gave an example, Snellville, which is a city not too far from where we live in Georgia. And now if I go and type in hashtag Snellville, it brings back Snellville, the city, Snellville stylist, barber, salon, GA, Snellville hairstylist, and I could go down and see this list. These are the top hashtags, but I have people that are actually in Snellville or that have this in their profile, or tags and places. So there's a lot of valuable information and insight that we can gain. Even if nothing else, you could literally go and let's say you want to go to Snellville stylist. Well, there might be another Snellville in the United States, potentially. But if there's not, I mean, I could go through and literally see who's hashtagging this, and chances are they're probably somebody local. And then if they have a photo, I could go like their photo and throw a quick comment on there, or I could actually empower somebody in my office to do that for me. Then they're going to chiropractor in Atlanta likes my photo. What? That's kind of weird. They'll check out my profile and see what I do. I'm like, oh yeah, maybe I should connect with this guy. It's pretty simple on how to do that. So that's one example. But with hashtags, you want to be very specific, like I spoke about. Maintain the relevance. Pay attention to what's going on locally so you can understand and know the right hashtags, and then monitor other brand hashtags. Other brands, like I just mentioned on the previous slide, that might be more popular than you are or might have a very, very large base. You might find a personal trainer locally that has 50,000 fans, or it could be a restaurant that has 100,000 Instagram fans or followers. That's great information to know. So let's talk about how to get an extra 2,500 Instagram followers in the next 3 weeks or less. Number one is you can email your patient list. Take advantage of people that already know, like, and trust you. Use your email list, send an email out to them, and maybe you are going to have some type of contest. Anyone that likes my Instagram page this week, we have a special giveaway, giving away an iPad. I mean, you don't have to go that expensive, but give something of value away, certainly, just to get them over, and also give them another reason. What's in it for them? What type of content do you post? When do you do contests? How often? Things like that. Add your Instagram URL to your signature block in your email. I mean, if you send out 200 plus emails per day like I do, well, you might get some pretty darn good exposure if you do that, and quite a few fans that just hop over to Instagram and like you. Now, here's a cool strategy I like. I used this for my book as well when I launched it. These are called page shoutouts. You can find other people that have built large bases, real followers on Instagram, either local or national. And when you find these people, you can do one of two things. One, if you have a large follower base, you can work out some type of joint venture promotion or partnership with them where you are, essentially cross promoting each other's content one-on-one. Or you might just straight up and offer them, say, hey, listen, you're a personal trainer in this area. I see you have 25,000 fans. Well, we've got this great article or this great tip I think that could help them. I'd like to link it to our website. I mean, do you do any sponsored advertising on your Instagram profile? Like, if I, paid you $30 or $50. Now, depending on what, how many fans they have that are real, if you pay $50, you could get a lot of great exposure. And if you average that on something like, let's say Facebook as an example, if you're going to spend $50 on their ad platform, you can see how many clicks you're getting and whatnot. It might be a comparable cost per click if you actually look at who's posting it, when they're posting, and maybe they could even boost it for you, whatever arrangement that you work out. But I remember when I did this for my book, now there was a profile that had 1 million entrepreneur followers. I did it for my book. I paid something like $50 for a shout out. Next thing I knew, I had an extra like 900, 1,000 fans, like real people that like came over and followed me, and a lot of them bought my book. So it was a really great promotion in that regard. Instagram has a very high engagement rate, and if you do it right, and if you take advantage of these influencers and see if they're offering advertising spots locally, I think you might be surprised with what you can do. And I just threw out a number like $20 or $50, but some college kid that has 50,000 fans, I mean, they might be happy at $15. It's free money. All I got to do is post this about my office. So be strategic with who you ask, and again, look through those hashtags like we talked about. You can mention and tag other celebrities, local or national, in your space. If they like your content, they might even regram it or feature it to their followers. You never know. Post your Instagram link on Facebook, or let other people on other social platforms know that you have an Instagram profile. Do image caption contests on Instagram. Create 10 to 15-second videos. Instagram advertising and Facebook advertising. Now, I've taught for a long time on certain regards using Facebook. Sometimes I will turn Instagram off depending on what type of traffic I'm going after. But you can also turn Facebook off, the audience network, messenger network, and just go for Instagram. And you do that through your Facebook ads manager. This is a really powerful strategy to split test and see how powerful Instagram advertising is in your area. I can guarantee you not a lot of doctors are really hammering Instagram, like they should be. So it is wide open, and your costs, you never know, your costs might even be lower if you have a compelling graphic. So just an FYI there. You can post your testimonials on Instagram like you would on Facebook, as long as you keep them under a minute, or just have somebody chop them up for you. Feature real people using your service, obviously. Or, again, partner with related accounts and companies, cross promotions. Talked about that a little bit. As you get a bigger follower base, or even, I don't know, maybe you follow or frequent a nutrition store in your local area, and his name's Joe. You say, hey, Joe, check this out. I've got a Facebook and Instagram profile, and I would love to feature, if you've got an article about the two best or the top way to choose a whole food organic nutritional supplement, where everything, or every question Marietta residents must ask about doing this. You know, if he has an article about choosing some type of great organic whole food supplement, the best way to do it that he can share with you, you can post it on your Instagram and Facebook, and you can essentially be a goodwill provider and get him fans, get him exposure. And then you come back to him a week later and say, hey, Joe, check this out. This article, this post, this graphic was really, really responsive on my Instagram. Look at all the, you got 1,000 likes. I even promoted it for $5 for you. Looks like you got a bunch of fans from it. This guy's going to be elated because you took some initiative and promoted his business. And then that's when you would say something like, hey, Joe, check this out. I've got this great graphic about 3 quick tips to help with child scoliosis, or I've got this great offer that I'm doing in the office this week for families or what have you. Can you post this on yours? What do you think he's going to say? Absolutely. You promoted his stuff, he's going to promote yours, because that's a very easy way to cross promote and get more local fans to see your stuff. You can follow other users. A percentage will follow you back. That's up to you, though, because if you get a lot of congestion in your news feed, you won't be able to really follow those who you want. But I know some people that do that. I recommend posting twice a day on Instagram. This doesn't have to be you. It could be your CA in your office, but you should have input on certainly what the content is, but at least post somewhat regularly. Now let's talk about some major pitfalls that docs run into when they get into Instagram. And one is having no clear goal. Listen, if you want 10,000 followers on your Instagram, write it down. I want 10,000 new followers. Give yourself a clear mark to hit. I mean, you can't hit a moving target, but you have to be specific with what it is. So make a goal, first and foremost. Now, another big mistake I see is the doctors won't put a link in their fee. You have to have some type of link in there to your website, to a landing page, just so people know where to click. Don't overlook that. It's very simple, but make sure your website is there. Also, a lot of docs have their Instagram profiles private, which is another big no-no. And I understand that if you have a personal profile, maybe you don't want everyone to see it. However, I've seen enough like business profiles or profiles that shouldn't be private. And I'm thinking, you might not be getting as much traffic to your Instagram because your settings aren't correct. So open your profile, make it public. Posting duplicate photos or too much canned content. Don't just recycle every other day. You need to have original content on Instagram. And occasionally, maybe a few months down the road, yeah, you can post a similar photo again. But if it's the same stuff over and over, or if the design looks the same, you're going to bore people. And bored people don't buy, or they don't pay attention. Not responding to comments promptly. This is another big mistake. If somebody comments, make sure you respond in a prompt fashion or empower somebody in your office to do that for you. No one likes to get comments or likes, or I should say that no one likes to post something and either not get any responses on their profile. And it's nice when you say something that somebody would say something back or like your comment or post. This is just basic etiquette on social media. So make sure you are responding accordingly. Focusing on quantity over quality. Like I said, you want to post twice a day on Instagram, but posting 10 times a day is not going to mean you're going to necessarily acquire more fans. That's not the case. You still want to focus on really high quality stuff that you put out. That's why I gave you some examples in the beginning of this presentation about the quote graphics, about the research, about the tip on how to get a good night's sleep, all this other stuff. I mean, that's good quality information that somebody could see it, like it, comment, and want to share it actually. Misuse of hashtags. We already talked about some of the correct ways to use. Make sure they are relevant, like we spoke about earlier in this presentation, and specific. And here is just a simple chart that you can use. Hashtags, make them memorable. Not just a brand name. Has to make sense. Short, simple. Research. Make sure you do your homework. Make it relevant. Use it everywhere. And be consistent. Now, Agora Pulse, this is interesting too, because more tags equals more likes and comments. Instagram allows up to 30 tags per image. It says, in my data, I found a positive correlation between the number of tags on an image and likes and comments. So naturally, if you have more hashtags, you're going to get more exposure, because those hashtags, people can search those hashtags and they might see your image in there that will lead to more likes and comments. So make sure you understand that. Again, you don't have to do 30 tags every single image, but at least include 5 in there, maybe even 10. It doesn't take you a lot of time to do that.
Matt, this is a great point. I want to ask you
Uh-huh.
about that. If you just go back that one
Yeah.
slide, because what have you discovered for time? You can sit there and add a lot of tags, but what have you
Mhm.
discovered? 5, 10 tags every time you're doing a post?
I mean, I'll probably hover between 10 and 15-ish, somewhere in
Okay,
there.
good to know. That's quite a bit. That's more than I put on mine. So I'm
Yeah, and it also depends on the type of content too. Again, if you're local, certain hashtags are not going to make sense. I mean, and you could try to carve out your own hashtag, like if you want to carve out your own brand, but it's better to ride the wave in many situations because we want to hop in front of people that already or hashtags that already have a ton of traffic going to them. That's really the goal of the hashtagging. And if you have a few in there that have, Dr. Mike Reed or Mike Reed, that's totally cool because you're building your brand, and somebody might eventually try to hijack your hashtag. But if you've got a lot of content there, you've got all this stuff. So that's always a good idea. And some of those, but yeah, you should have, I would say 10 to 15 is what I average personally. Some it will be more depending on what I'm promoting, if it's a national market, but that's just an FYI.
great tip. Good to know. Thanks, Matt.
Uh-huh. Low quality photos. This is a big one that will just kill your engagement very, very quickly. Use high quality photos. If it's blurry, don't post it on Instagram. Not proofreading. You're a professional. Proofread. Make sure things are spelled correctly. Have somebody else double check it for you. You don't want to misspell. It just doesn't look good. And then no call to action. Certain hashtags, depending on what it is, you should have a call to action very, very clear. And let's say you give some great information about could be sleeping tip or could be chiropractic, the nervous system. You might say in your actual post, hey, for more tips, check out our free report here, or check out our blog here, or click the link in the bio, or you might want to direct them somewhere to take the other action. Sometimes the call to action is directly in the image itself too. It just really depends on if you're doing a direct response ad, if you're trying to get somebody to go directly from the image to a website, or if it's going to be in the description. So that's going to depend, but you should have a call to action periodically.
I've got a question on that, Matt, because Ezra's Firestone talks about the image
Uh-huh.
applicable to a landing page to a call to action. Have you experimented with that at all, or is it
Image,
the website?
image to landing page to call to action?
Right.
Oh yeah, for sure. If you hop in front of the right people, certainly, and if you promote it the right way, that's where Instagram ads come into play. Absolutely. And that you can do the same thing on Instagram and Pinterest, because Pinterest is also an image sharing network
Right.
with perfect chiropractic demographic in there. So no, that's a great strategy. I've used that in the past very effectively. And sometimes the cost per click might be even less because Instagram is less competitive if you do it that way. So that's at this stage of the game.
All right.
Inconsistent posting. This is the kiss of death. Post a little bit once, twice a day. That's fine. Don't go 6 months without posting. Empower somebody in your office to do it if you don't have the time. It's pretty simple stuff. Now imagine if you would have implemented this 6 months ago, how far along would you have been? How many more patients would you be serving in your office? How much more traffic would you have to your website? How much more impact would you be making? And how much more visibility would you have? There's always a window of opportunity on social media. And I've seen this since the MySpace days in 2005. There's always that window of opportunity. And, there's still a lot of great aspects with YouTube and Facebook or whatnot, but Instagram it's fresh for a lot of people. And that freshness creates a huge opportunity in of itself because they look at their notifications more, whether they're via email. They're more likely to hop on there and to read the comments better. It's got more of that that fresh feel. It's the best way that I can describe it. So take advantage of it while it's hot, where the attention is there, because there's going to come a time, I don't know when that is, where people are going to get a little fickle and they're going to hop over to, whether eventually Snapchat, eventually has the 30 to 50-year-old demographic in masses like Instagram does now. That's interesting. That could happen. But for right now, for the chiropractic demographic, you need to really hammer this out and use the strategies and tactics and tips that I talked about today and that we're going to discuss in Punta Cana to really, really maximize your growth, and so you can reach and serve more people, essentially. So yeah, what type of doctor are you? I mean, do you want to make this happen? Are you going to sit on the sidelines and just let everyone pass you by? I sincerely hope not, because usually when I'll do these presentations, I'll get those type of doctors. They like it, they find the content valuable, but they just don't do anything with it. And I'll see you at a seminar six months from now, and I already know what you're missing. I understand the opportunity cost. So hopefully that's not you. And, if you're the type of doctor that really, really wants to take it to the next level, that social media like Instagram or Facebook, that stuff, it's not a fad. Everyone's using it. So you have to maximize your effectiveness, and you want to take it to the master level. Even if you are doing well, over 20, 30 new patients per month from social media, you're capable of a lot more. Mike and I can tell you about a mutual client that we have that does over 100 new patients each and every single month just from social media and the internet, which is insane. Now, we're not going to tell you those results are, quote, typical, but that's going to show you the potential of what you can tap in. And there's absolutely no reason why you can't set up a machine when you dial everything in to generate an extra 30 to 50 new patients per month from the internet, period. Social media wise. I mean, we've seen it, right, Mike?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's half an hour, 15 minutes, half an hour a day compared to sitting in a mall screening or trying to set up outside. I mean, marketing has shifted, and this is the next evolution in marketing. So if you can't do it, you just hire somebody to do it for you. It's really that easy.
Yeah, exactly. So, but the bottom line is we need to really make it happen. And Mike and I are here really to help empower you, but also we want to see in Punta Cana, man. Like this is, I don't know if can you bring the website up for your end, or you want me to, Mike?
Yeah, I can. So unless
right,
you want to, yeah, I have to bring it up at this end, but what I'm going to do, Matt, let's just go into if doctors, because we might have a lot of new doctors on this call that are not familiar with you and your services. If they want to get hold of you, Matt, what is your contact information?
Yeah. So, Instagram. Well, so one, follow me on Instagram. That's number one. And then I have a cheat sheet that you would certainly find valuable. Let me just pull this up again. Oops. So get on my email list. That's the way to email me. dcincome.com/go/cheat sheet. That's a 22-page Facebook marketing cheat sheet. It's like what the highest paid chiropractors use in their practices. And I've trained most of them, so I can tell you that that's what they're using. dcincome.com/go/cheat sheet. And that'll really get you. Just tell me where to send the information. We'll send you the report. But now you'll be connected, and you can email me with questions at any time, if you've got that. And I've got other products and programs as well, like Social Media Elite. But that actually comes complimentary when you're a Caribbean Adventure Mastermind member anyway. And so that's I'm just super jazzed about Punta Cana, man. I tell you what.
Oh, yeah. And just if you move forward a couple slides, you've got the URL there, Matt.
Yeah, let me see here.
Fun.
So go to ucam.fun right now. And myself or Mike is going to pull it up. But ucam.fun, we have the early bird registration. That is, when does that end, Mike? The 30th?
That ends on the 30th of November. So the tickets are actually $13.97. I mean, one new patient will pay for this, but it's the tickets right now are $7.97. So you're saving 40% or $600 a ticket. We have a team ticket for $27.97. But what's interesting, Matt, is last year when you were sharing a few Facebook tips, we had people getting new patients at the seminar. They were actually calling us.
Yeah, we couldn't have planned that any better, actually. That was that was pretty cool. Let me see here.
I'll bring that up in a second. But for those doctors who are on this call, ucam.fun, and you'll learn more about this Ultimate Caribbean Adventure Mastermind that we run. And just to give the doctors an idea, you're not in class the whole time. You're 8 to 12 in the morning.
Exactly.
It's relax, you're in flip-flops and shorts. The afternoon is all adventure mastermind stuff, ATVs on the beach, or in Punta Cana, we went to a tobacco farm, and we went to a beach and went swimming, and then we do dinners and mastermind at night. So it's a blast. I mean, so many people are coming back, and this is growing every year. We'd love to have you guys join.
Yeah, so, can you see these? Can you see these pics, Mike?
Yeah, I can. I still see your PowerPoint here. So
okay, so let me let me just take that. Here it is.
If you have it right there, you just pop up. Just
There it
open
is.
the window there if you can.
All right. How about now?
There it is.
All right. So let me, so ucam.fun is the website. This is actually from the beach here in Punta Cana. I mean, it's sick. It's a really cool place. This is an all-inclusive resort as well, which a lot of docs, they love this. They can bring their families down and you don't have to worry about anything. They take care of you. It's a pristine property. It's almost in the jungle. You'll see iguanas running everywhere. It's very exotic. Wouldn't you agree?
Hang on to your little one, but there's iguanas now. But
Well, they're smaller. They're smaller, but it's really cool stuff that you don't see every day.
And docs, you can come earlier. You come a couple days earlier, stay later. Make a vacation out of it. You can write this off, but we guarantee you're going to walk out of there with a major shift in your new patient machine, and the masterminding, the friendships you'll make during that weekend. There's the prices right there. So super early bird goes the end of November. It's $797. You'll save 40%. You click on that.
And we're gonna be pushing this hard in the next week to our email lists.
Yeah,
we will. We sold out last year. We're gonna sell out this year because it's just everyone I talk to seems to be like, hey, when are you doing that seminar in the Caribbean again? And when I tell them it's Punta Cana, if you don't know Punta Cana, it's a very easy flight. I mean, for me in Atlanta, that's probably like 3 hours, which is not bad at all. And like just some of the most beautiful beaches in the world. A lot of celebrities go there. It's just a really, really cool spot. And I don't know if we have a picture of, well, we've got, let's see if we have.
The pictures at the bottom, Matt, just of our
let's see.
Previous adventure stuff that we did, and some of the people that have been there. So still going to add last year's on this, but
but we've got, I mean, you can read all these, we got, my God, so many testimonials on here just from docs that really found value from what they learned, as well as, many of these guys are coming back because it's just a kick-ass party and they learn some great strategies that they can take back to the office and implement Monday morning. As Mike said, you want to stay a few extra days just to absorb the scenery. And it's just a powerful experience. If you want to network and be around A players, people that are making it happen, you'll find docs. I mean, we have $1 million practice earners in the audience every year. And one of the things that we like to do is we'll go around and we'll have everyone share one of their top strategies, whether it's online or offline, stuff that's really just making big things happen in their office. Sometimes it's the small little tweaks that'll produce the biggest gains in your marketing and really in your office in general. So that's one of my favorite sessions, a small little mastermind, and that alone is worth the price of admission, just to get to network with those docs.
I mean, if you think you got a lot from this call tonight, guys, listen to Matt. And I know a lot of you are shaking your head, drinking out of the fire hose. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm lost. You really do walk out of there. And I'll be honest with you. Sometimes it takes almost 2 dippings of this UCAM to go to really start to harness the power of social media. And it's really important, man. I always talk about this, is that, in your community, people are looking for you on the internet. They don't use the yellow pages anymore. It's more difficult to get new ones, from screenings and the old school. And it still works. But if you can tap into social media, this is so easy to do and such a high return on investment. You'll actually kill your practice, 30, 40 new ones per month. Like you said, we have some clients that are just doing 50, 60, 100 new ones per month. What would that do to your practice? That's crazy.
Yeah. And even if it was just an extra 5, that's still pretty substantial. From like the goal really is to create systems that serve you for years and years to come. Now you're going to have to get your hands dirty. That's the reality. However, if you set up the systems correctly, you'll set them up one time and they will serve your office for years and years to come. So that's one of the beauties about the internet. And if you set social media up the right way, it's not like a fly-by-night postcard drop where it's one and done. You'll get the return, whatever that return is, but it's highly unlikely that you'll pull something a year down the road. The social media is completely the opposite. So it's just very, very high leverage. So in Punta Cana at the seminar, you learn the high leverage ways. That's what I typically start with. I'll say this is a Monday morning strategy. We're going to give you a lot of information here. These are the first 3 things you need to implement. Don't even worry about anything else until you get these 3 things implemented. And then we can always stack and layer as we go.
Let's grab a few questions, Matt. UCAM.fun, guys, to learn more about this. Early bird goes to the end of this month. You'll save $600. Brad Deacon, thanks for the shout out to everyone. We need a daily
Brad, what's up?
list. It was awesome last year. I know Brad's already signed up to come back, and so have many of the other doctors. So we've got a lot of doctors on tonight. For those of you who have a question, just send a little note in the chat box, and we can just answer your question. So thanks, Brad. Just go ahead and type in the chat box if you guys have a question. It'll flag us here at this end, and you can ask Matt your question. All right. Okay, Brad, if anyone is thinking, I'm just going to bring this over, just do it. You won't regret it. Change my practice instantly. Now, Brad, you're having record month after record month, and high fives to you, buddy. Record shifts. Yeah, you're just taking this to the next level. So
one of the things that I really like about this as well is, and I've heard this from several attendees, if you were to fly to Atlanta here and we were to spend an entire day together, you're going to pay $15,000 to $25,000 for that to happen. One, because I've just been very fortunate to be on stages like Harvard, and I've garnered a great reputation. And I don't say that to brag at all, but I say that because the information is so valuable to your practice. For what you get, two two gurus, so to speak, that can really help boost your practice. Again, this is just it's such a steal of a deal, and I'm there for you. Like, my attention is yours. Like, we'll be at the bar hanging out. You come and ask me a question. We'll brainstorm a new idea. Bam, get you started. I mean, things can happen really, really fast. I get a lot of doctors that also, they see what I've been able to do online. Aside from the practice, they see, wow, you've been able to create all these additional sources of income, this $1 million internet empire, and they want to replicate that. So many will come down just to pick my brain on that alone. And we go into different strategies, whether it's selling information products or whether it's selling stuff on Amazon. So I can't, I didn't understand the value until I remember, my gosh, this is probably like in 2009, where I had a chance to meet with a mentor in a similar fashion, only mine was at a dinner. I got to spend 2 hours with this dinner. The dinner cost me $1,000, and I had to fly to San Diego to do it. But I was like, this is just a no-brainer for me, because if I were to do a total immersion day with this guy's going to be 15 grand. So I did it, and it changed my life. And the connections I met at that dinner, it's just like, it's crazy how that happened. So this is just one of those events. It attracts high-powered players, and you get to network with Mike and I one-on-one, and it's just I can't say enough great things about how important that one-on-one time is.
Here's just a testimonial from Brad again. Brad's chirping in here. We appreciate that, Brad. If anyone's thinking just do it, you won't regret it. Change my practice. Instantly up 7,000 per month since UCAM 2017. To giving DCs that want to help you. It's so true. We love doing it. We're passionate about this. And you
so awesome.
The whole 3 days. And look, Brad, up 7,000. It's 84,000 in a year and still growing.
That's awesome. So, but and what I like too is that this event attracts doers. We get some people, like everyone that I've talked to, they've implemented some stuff or a lot of stuff, but they've done some stuff. So that's what, you're going to interact with a lot of doers, and Brad's just a prime example of that.
Dr. Porath is asking, please repeat the link to the Facebook Instagram manual. One more time, Matt.
Well, the Facebook cheat sheet, you can actually go to dcincome.com/go/cheat sheet, dcincome.com/go/cheat sheet. And I know, Mike, you're going to have a replay of this webinar up, right?
Absolutely. So we will repost it. We're going to send it out, and we put it once again into the library. So those who are clients will be able to pick it up there as well.
Yeah. And I have an entire Instagram module in my flagship training, Social Media Elite. But like I mentioned before, with UCAM doctors, that comes with the UCAM membership anyway. So if you sign up for UCAM, you get that extra added bonus. That course sells every day for $597 online. And I just throw that in as a bonus because I want to see you guys thrive.
All right, guys. So the question box is open. Just click on the chat box, then we can ask your question if you have one for Matt. We have a lot of doctors on, so we have to mute people at the back end. So just go ahead and type your question in the chat box. Any question goes. We have just a few more minutes left for the end of this webinar on our Master Talk with Matt Luke. 7,000 Canadians, a little more than $50 US, Brad, but we get it.
Well, this is Dr. David, averaging 40 new patients per week since that second seminar. He was with us in Cancun, and then was it the following, the first, no, he was, yeah, Cancun and the one before that, I believe.
Yeah, the very first one. And it
Yeah.
was interesting with David. David's into a lot of advanced social media techniques like pixelating, retargeting, which we'll touch
Yeah.
on this year, Matt. I think that people are probably ready for it. So if you're not
Mhm.
retargeting a lot of your Facebook and your website ads, we're going to teach you how to do that. But these are advanced techniques that are basically going to follow around people who visited your sites, are interested in your products. And it's a great way to increase, returns as much as 300% through retargeting techniques. So there's a lot of new things coming out, guys. We're going to be doing old and new for the doctors there, and definitely you'll want to come back a second year. So Brad, thank you very much. I love the info about Amazon, about creating passive income, something you can empower your spouse to do to make extra bucks on the side. That's the thing too, is that you can bring your spouse, you can bring your family down. A lot of doctors have their spouses. You don't have to be a chiropractor. You don't even have to be a chiropractor. We had MDs, we have dentists that have come to this event as well. And we really want to open it up to other professionals because it's very generic.
Yeah, we Amsterdam. We have people flying from Amsterdam, from Sweden, from
New Zealand.
New Zealand. Yeah, yeah, it's all over the world, global.
So I know we've got a lot of doctors in the UK that are keen on this as well. So we're really jacked about this, guys. And it's just one of those events. Instagram is just one of many platforms that you want to learn how to master. So imagine if you could get all of these down to the science that we're teaching. Your new patient machine has just evolved to the next level. And what's really interesting, you mentioned this, Matt, a lot of A players. A lot of the doctors that are down there are doing 7 figures a year. Yep, they're doing $1 million. A lot of my clients, and I think a lot of my top clients also coach with you. So they have 2 coaches, and these guys are just killing it. They are breaking the 7-figure mark. It just goes to show you, you can build a very lucrative practice.
Absolutely. So it does attract high power players, people that get stuff done. And when you're around that atmosphere, it rubs off on you. And we mentioned the dates, I think, but April 27th through the 29th, 2018. So mark those dates. It's at the very end of April, April 27th through the 29th, right there. And then once you're at this page, just scroll down and click this button here. Where is it at? Super early bird. That's until November 30th. Listen, guys, if you have any questions right now, Instagram or other social media, let us know while we're on.
All right. So I think that's about it for the questions right now, Matt. One last time, your contact information.
Yeah, so look me up on Instagram at Matthew Loop, or Facebook. That's my handle on all the profiles. And then, like I said, grab the free cheat sheet, because once you grab that, you're on my email list anyway, and you can email me at any time. So dcincome.com/go/cheat sheet.
And the URL, guys, is ucam.fun. That stands for Ultimate Caribbean Adventure Mastermind. Love to have you join us coming up at the end of April. So, Matt, thanks for being on again, buddy, as my brother and as a partner in the UCAM. I just want to thank you once again from the bottom of my heart for sharing your knowledge and really helping these doctors start to master a new social media platform.
My pleasure. Always fun. Look forward to seeing you guys in the sunny Caribbean, and certainly if we can help you in any way, just let us know. All
right, guys. Thanks for joining us on this Master Talk. Watch for the replay if you want to listen to this again. And once again, ucam.fun if you'd love to join us in the Caribbean. Have a great night, guys, and keep practicing with passion.
I'd love to have you subscribe, comment, like, and share this video with your friends. And don't forget to go to www.chiropractic-masters.com for more free practice building tools.